all being well, I do believe that if I now look, we should be live on Vocal Booth Radio. Welcome, everybody. We have just been having a 36 minute pep talk discussing how wonderful things have been in June. And it is my absolute pleasure now to introduce you to some of the DJs, the boys and girls that you may want to get to know a little bit better. The way I did it last month, I invited anybody who wanted to talk to put their hand up on Zoom, and that will give me the ability to go through the list one at a time. We are going to be around for hopefully an hour or so. It sounds like a long time, but it really flew last month. It was last month, wasn't it? I keep saying last month, and then I think, was it the beginning of June, or was it right at the end of May? Anyway, so I don't see any hands up. Come on, someone's got to put a hand up. I need to talk to somebody. Good evening to everyone inside the chat room. No hands. Don't make me put you on the spot.
But Claire,
Anne-Marie.
Claire put her hands up.
Claire, I can't see any hands. Claire has a hand up. No,
she can't get off mute. She had a physical hand up.
Okay, thank you, Angela.
I'm on my iPhone and I can't find the hand up. I know it's here somewhere.
Well, I can hear you now. Chris, I see your hand up. I'll come to you next. So the lovely Claire Lawless, one of our girls on top. Claire and I go back some 20 years, a few more than 20 years since our paths crossed working on FM radio here in Spain. And it was my absolute pleasure. I can't actually remember how it was that we got talking. Did Shelley put us in touch before you came to Vocal Booth, Claire?
I think that I have always had you as a friend on Facebook, and I was just lurking. And then I kind of started commenting on a few of your videos, and then you messaged me and said, come to Vocal Booth Weekender. And I said, all right then.
Okay, wonderful. So you're no stranger to the airwaves. You've always been a lover of house music, but you have a very eclectic music taste, right? So tell us about your musical history and what it is that you hope to achieve with your shows.
So I'm the youngest of 5. I've got 4 older brothers. And my mum and dad were always very much into their music, but they're rock and roll, Buddy Holly, Gene Pitney, all that kind of stuff. And then eldest brother was into his Motown and punk, and then it's kind of moved its way through. And so a lot of my musical knowledge has been influenced by them. When I started work on the radio station in Spain, I realised that my only gaps really were 70s disco, but everything else I had a very decent knowledge of. And my taste is house, but I also like a bit of jazz. I like soul. I like R&B. I like punk. I like everything. There's one thing that I've found, and I don't think there's any kind of music that I don't like. So I think as long as it's got a groove, really, I'm into it. Mm-hmm. And the thing that I've found on my show is that I do try and be quite eclectic, but I'm discovering a lot of the music myself along the way. So there are some of the old classics that I know and that most people know, but there's a lot of new artists coming through that making music that sounds like it was made in the 70s and in the 80s. And so that rediscovery is been really refreshing as well, because I was on radio 20 odd years ago, but since then I've had a family. You kind of lose yourself a little bit when you've had a family, and you know your identity's lost, and you kind of just mum or wife. And so rediscovering that music again and having the headphones on again and being in front of the mic again has really reignited Claire. I'm not just mum, I'm not wife, I'm me again. So I thank you for giving me that opportunity. And yes, I wanted to rekindle my love of radio. And what I want to achieve is just sharing the love of all that different kind of music, because there will be people listening who have got a house leaning, but maybe they'll hear something on my show that they think, oh, do you know what? I quite like that. I'm going to go and listen to some more like that. So that's kind of where I'm at with that, really.
I love it. Well, you're in great company here. I think you share the same passion as all of us. And I was chuckling to myself earlier. A brilliant weekend, of course. Well, questionable. Some people said it was ace. Some people said Glastonbury was rubbish. But I had made a comment about the Ezra Collective, and Michelle Roberts has said, "Yeah, it's amazing. I didn't know who they were before." And you were like, "Well, I've played it, Mrs. I've played them."
You're not listening. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that, and we are looking forward to seeing all of the girls on top together behind the decks at the gathering. I am going to come and talk to Bardo, another of the girls on top, in a little while. Before I do that, Ian, are you able to talk? I did see you say you might have to jump off at any second. Are you happy to talk while you can?
Let me unmute. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
perfect. So we have Mr. Ian Leggett, aka Larry, with his wonderful Larry's House. Larry is someone that I'm only recently getting to know on a deeper level. Wow, we're still to connect and meet face to face. Is that right? We've not actually met in public.
I saw you briefly at one of the fundraisers for the Bobby and Steve fundraisers, but you were. I think you were pretty knackered and you shot off a bit early. But yeah, I did say hello there.
Okay, well, forgive me. Yeah, I was actually quite ill. I was actually very ill that day. I wasn't drunk or anything. I just finished vocal booth, and I think I had the remnants of COVID, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And you inundate people as well.
Wow, it happens with a face like this, doesn't it? Only joking. Tell us about Larry's House.
Don't know if my connection. I think my connection might be a bit dodgy here as well. So.
No, we've got you. Tell us about Larry's House.
Yeah, well, similarly to Claire was saying, I mean, I've got a really eclectic taste in music, which I guess comes across. I hope it does. Deep rooted in soul, disco, funk. Been collecting a long time, along with some really close mates. You know, we've got some pretty good collections. Always been going to Southport Weekender for a long time. Love hearing all sorts of different stuff, you know, new stuff, classic stuff, you know, and also the Soulful House for me was massive, you know, sort of mid-90s Garage City, and you know, used to be there all the time. And also my connection with Paul Farris. He used to live with me and me folks for a time when he was running the shop in Soho. So I used to spend an awful lot of time up there and spend lots of my money there. So yeah, I've got a great collection from that period, which I love. I mean, that for me is a massive passion part of it, as it is for a lot of us, the real sort of classic soulful house. But yeah, more and more now I delve into sort of some slightly deeper sounds and more jazzy stuff, you know, anything I love.
Okay, we are losing him now. I think he's so Ian or Larry, we'll call him. He works at Heathrow, so he's out and about on his signal somewhere. So we'll discount that. Larry's House is actually on a Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. It's a firm favourite of the daytime listeners because it is perfect for that time of the day. So if you haven't heard it, then I do recommend you check it out. Next up, let me see if anyone has their hand up. I know Chris did have his hand up. Before I go to you, Chris, let me go to Bretsky, because Bretsky, you actually weren't on the call last month, were you? I think you were going to a meal or something. Are you able to unmute?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we couldn't make it last month, but it's nice to be back in this month.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So we go back a long way. Resident DJs at many parties, Fuel, particularly in Birmingham, Steering Wheel, Miss Moneypennies, all of those kind of dues. And so when you reached out and said you want to be involved, I was very happy, and it was great to meet up with yourself and Vic and the family again at Hockley Social Club recently. So tell us what it is. You're in and out of the chat room a hell of a lot, non-stop listener to the station. What do you look to bring with your show? And just confirm, it's the 4th Monday of the month, right?
That's right, yeah, at 4 p.m. Yeah,
a funky soul session.
Yeah, and I think that just about says it all, really, because I stopped DJing for about 25 years, and I just got back into the digital way of life when Vocal Booth came up. So it just gave me a chance to play music that I'm like everybody on the station. I absolutely love music. I love all sorts of music. But obviously what I play more is house. I mean, as you know, Andy, I used to play a bit more bouncing house. So now it's gone a bit more soulful, a bit more funky, but it's still music that I love. And that's what I try to get across in the shows. I mean, I try to do each show just a little bit different. And funny enough, I got listening to, is it DJ Ads?
Mm-hmm. Mr. Ads.
Mr. Ads. And he played a garage show. And that brought such good memories back from listening to garage and going out to the garage clubs. So next month might have a bit of a garage edge, that show. So it's just nice to get to listen to as many shows as I can. It's difficult because I work and I've got a house full of kids. But there's some tremendous shows on here. And there's some I find myself listening to that I probably wouldn't have listened to. But once you get in there, you sort of get caught up in there. And that's what I hope. I hope that people can sort of, do that with my show. Find yourself in there and try and stay in there.
Love that. So if you haven't checked it out, go and grab the podcast, Bretsky Funky Soul Session. And it is, I'm just double checking, the 4th Monday of the month at 4 p.m. Now, without putting you on the spot, I'm going to put you on the spot. You did say a few months ago how you made an observation that the people who are on the microphone get a lot more interaction. And I'm yet to hear anything from you on the microphone.
To be honest, the setup, I haven't got the setup at the moment. And that's something that me and Vicky have talked about, and I'd love to do. But it's just, I think, it's just getting it all ready and set up.
Okay.
But having a house
I would love to hear it from you. So I'm just going to plant that seed and give you a gentle nudge.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. I might have to find myself a little space in the shed because I've got a house for the kids and animals and whatever. But yeah, it's something I'd like to do, and it would give me a chance to probably expand the music I play, because I love 70s, 80s, soul, funk, disco.
Mm-hmm.
So that would obviously open up for that as well. But
beautiful. Well, I would love to hear that from you as well. Thank you for sharing that.
You're more than welcome.
Directly underneath you, I was going to go to another West Midlander, but I think we need to give people's ears a rest. Let me go to Mr. Dalmar Brown. How are you, my friend? Good morning. What time is it? Let me have a look. It's not that early. 2 p.m. Brooklyn. 2:53. He's trying to get the mute. It's so funny watching everyone trying to get the mute off their phones. Now, you talk about a mic man. Dalmar Brown is a mic man. He's clearly not very good with Zoom, though. Okay, I'm going to count him down. Come on, Delmar. Just press the bottom of the screen so it comes up, and then you should see. There we go.
Oh, my bad. Everybody good? Everybody good? Can y'all hear me?
We got ya. We got ya. Please introduce yourself.
That's crazy. I was trying to. Yeah, okay. I'm Delmar Brown with an E. It's no E, it ain't me, just to let y'all guys know. My beginnings to come back here to Vocal Booth is really an honor. I got to thank Carol Gold for that, because she reached out to me when Vocal Booth Radio was coming on board, and I was really excited about that. For those who didn't know, it was crazy because I was like, wow, I was always a fan of Andy Ward, because I used to always be in that chat room. I'm talking 17 years ago, and in between it all. So I was like listening to him. I remember that those were the days when to be in the booth, and then you had to hope for some people to come out the chat room to go on in. Those were the good old days. So once this opportunity to come back on board after Pressure Radio, to come back on and then to be on this show, to be on Vocal Booth Radio was really a dream. And I heard a lot of y'all guys that was on there. I heard the names, and we have a very eclectic bunch of personalities, because we are all personalities, whether we speak or not. We are radio personalities, for those who don't know. And I think it's really nice to know that everybody can get together from Monday to Sunday. You notice how I said that, from Monday to Sunday, because it goes from Monday to Sunday and go through everything. Everybody puts on a great show, whether you speak or you don't speak. The eclectic part of your programming is fantastic. And I mean, I could just say this. I love what y'all guys are doing. I'm glad to be part of this team here. It's about teamwork to make the dream work.
I love that. I love that. So you were very gracious with your patience, because I was pulling you from pillar to post. You had a monthly show. Then I heard the show, and it was like, right, we got to get this guy weekly. Then you were at a different time slot. Then the Sundays changed, and I was like, okay, well, what about Saturday? So now you're sitting pretty on a Saturday afternoon. I mean, it's an ungodly time for yourself, right? On a Saturday afternoon. So it's 2 p.m. for the UK heads. So that's what, 9 a.m. for you?
Yes, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time for those who's trying to find me on the net. And it's crazy because, trust me, to get myself set up for y'all guys, I'm in between listening to Brother C. I'm listening into Get Comfy sessions. So I'm doing everything to prepare. So my prep to go on is quite a task, but it's real good though, because you know what? I listen to everybody. I'm like, where am I going today? What am I going to play today? I have no idea. Every time I play, it's off the cuff. I have no idea where I'm going, but you know what? Listening to everybody else gives me this opportunity to play this music and give it to y'all the way y'all going to receive it. And I really like that. And trust me, I'm sitting pretty. I'm sitting pretty on the Saturday, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Indeed you are. Indeed you are. Well, we are so happy to have you with us, and your passion, it shines through, and I think everyone loves what you do. And it's Nick, aka Get Comfy, is giving you a round of applause. Okay, so thank you for sharing that. I see John Kuma's just logged on. John, I'm not sure if we spoke to you last month, did we? Were we talking about your incredible Sunday morning show? Can anyone remember if I had actually spoken to John Kuma? Is it a big ask to John to unmute himself while he works that out? And Chris, I haven't forgot you. I am coming to you. And Marie, Sahara, unmute yourself, my dear, because we have spoken on these calls before, but I don't think you've actually ever gone live. So I shan't ask you to introduce yourself.
Testing. Can you hear me?
We hear you.
What's up? Hi, everyone.
tell us about the transition from Pressure to Vocal Booth, what it means to you, how happy you are to have committed to your weekly show, because you were fortnightly at one point, but you've got back into the flow of things, and the love for your show on a Sunday. It's very apparent to see, right?
Very much so. Well, as you know, I had some family issues. So whilst I was on Pressure, I actually took a sabbatical. So I was off here for a bit. Things got better. Then I came back into Pressure. I think I was doing fortnightly. Mm-hmm. But then when you said, you know what, Anne? I'm like, yeah, what, Andy? Let's set up Vocal Booth Radio. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm back on weekly. I mean, that is it. I love playing music. I've been playing now, radio. I've been doing it maybe, 12, 13 years? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and I've still got the passion to play tunes. And being on Vocal Booth Radio, yeah, I just want to play music, share my vibe, say hi to everybody, show lots of love in the chat room by supporting everyone. You know, I'm in there sometimes. I'll pop in and see Wagwan and show support for what we are doing, because what we are doing is absolutely fantastic and it's going to go places. But it's not actually about going places. For me, it's just about playing music. I grew up with 4 older brothers, a bit like Claire. You said you had 4 older brothers. So 4 older brothers and a sound system is what I grew up with. 8-inch speaker in my bedroom that we used to play loudly when Mum went to work till we got a noise abatement order. So all the equipment had to go elsewhere. But it's just a passion for music, Andy. You know me. Mm-hmm. You've known me quite a while, so you know. You
reminded me a few weeks ago, and I say this so many times. At no point am I ever trying to take credit for anyone's abilities. However, I am quite happy that it was myself that forced you away from the controller onto the CDJs, right?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to play at the Vocal Booth Weekender, and I said, you're not playing on a controller, get working on the CDJs, and you never look back, right?
No, I've got the whole setup right here, and it's absolutely fire. I've got the Nexus Smart One. 2000s and the mixer and focal speakers, very, very good. They're French made, they're handmade, they're more monitors, but the sound is crisp. You can actually hear everything that's coming out. So with my little setup here, I'm ready to go on a Sunday 2 to 4. Sahara 2 for 7, Diaries of House. But I just want to say welcome to all the new people that have entered into this. And let me tell you something, you're going to love it. You're never going to let it go. Once you get your flow and you're happy with what you're doing, your passion will be there, because mine is still there. Some Sundays I'm like, you know what, I don't want to get up and play music. But once I start getting into it, I'm like, let's do it.
Fantastic. And we love you for that. Thank you, Anne.
Love you.
We are 1 hour into this session. Andy Ward presents Meet the Squad. If anyone's just passing through, I am actually on a Zoom call that is being recorded. You'll be able to watch it back on YouTube and on Facebook. And we are broadcasting live, as you are more than aware. We're going to run through for another 60 minutes. So anybody that I haven't spoken to, we've got more than enough time for me to get around to you. Let me... actually, I keep been putting him off. Where has he gone? I can't see him now. Is he there or is he left? Mr. Chris Flint, has he gone? Or is he still here? I think he's actually gone. I keep putting him off and he's gone. So Chris Flint is one of our new DJs. He said he wanted to speak, but he's gone. So Bardo, Griff, get ready. I'm going to come to you in a second. Bardo, Aid will unmute your microphone. Another of our girls on top. Well, actually, I'll speak to both of you while you're there, but I'll focus on the prettier one of the duo.
Most people do, mate. Most people do.
So, Bardo, You joined us a little after we had begun. Again, someone who was very gracious in being patient and allowing us to find the perfect slot for you, and the birth of Girls on Top was exactly what we needed. You really impressed me as soon as you got on the microphone. Your music is perfect for the time slot that you're on with the rest of the women. You also on a couple, or on one of the station, I believe, that you do. Yeah. So tell us about Bardo, what it is you look to achieve with your show on Vocal Booth Radio, and what you love about what you hear from everyone else.
Well, apart from the fact I absolutely believe in Vocal Booth Radio, I love it. I love it with a passion. Everything that I've always done, I started DJing 5 years ago. And everything that I have done, I've been sort of very club orientated DJ, and I've been playing sort of hard tech house, because that's the sort of slots I've been getting. And I always knew that there was a lot of soul in me, and having to rein it back immensely, let me just say, I've got such a passion for music anyway, and it's my escapism, because as you know, we've got a severely autistic son who's nonverbal, and he's a grown man now. So in lockdown, when I started, it was a place for me to go and escape from the hardships of COVID and our son James. And I just love music. I go on the decks every single day. There isn't a day that I don't just pop on for an hour or two, and that's my time, my escapism. But
and mine.
I'm actually quiet when I'm on the decks. But for me, being on Vocal Booth is brilliant because it's dug out this soul that I had deep inside of me, and it's allowed me to play it. And very selfishly, on my show, I play exactly what I want. These are the tunes that I love. These are the tunes that I want to say, listen to this. How good is this? And I know it is quite house orientated and disco orientated, and I'm trying to put as much soul as I can. But I just love being here, Andy. Honestly, with my hand on my heart, I love being here. I love being part of the Girls on Top, and I truly am humbled being here. I love it.
And we love you as well. Angela is throwing up the hearts. And I'll repeat again, Girls on Top together, closing out the terrace at the All Dayer. It is going to be a very special occasion indeed. So thank you, Aid, for allowing her to speak, because I get the impression that she doesn't get a word in edgeways most of the time.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I get my break when she's on the decks as well, so it all works out for both of us, really.
He loves
there
it.
You go. Well, I mean, sometimes it is possibly stating something that is ridiculously obvious, but Aid and Bardo, husband and wife, Aid Wilcox, has the amazing Thank Funk It's Friday every week, and I have regularly joked about the demo mix that you sent in just to test your connection to make sure that everything was working. And it wasn't a terrible mix, but it was like it was a 3 a.m. banging club session. Yeah. And I was thinking, how am I going to break this to him? Because Aid and I go back a long time. Aid also reminded me about us being stuck in a phone box chatting shit to one another at a chuff about 20 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember a lot of them days, mate. I don't know about you, but I remember that. I don't remember the conversation. I just remember being there and thinking, we're in a frigging phone box at a nightclub in a hotel, surrounded by half-clad women, and we're standing there talking crap for 2 hours or however long it was. It was. I mean, those events were, some of the things that happened at those events were bizarre. But I just wish I could remember more of them, mate, to be honest.
I know, don't we all? Okay, so let's talk about your show, what it is that you hope to achieve, and how happy you are for the response that you've been getting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm like a lot of people on here. I'm long in the tooth. I mean, I started DJing at 15. I built my own decks in woodwork. My only GCSE that I got, I put a couple of decks in a wooden case in woodwork, and I got an A for that. So, yeah. But I'd kind of lost a little bit of heart with it all. I mean, it's changed the scene, the working DJ, because I was a working DJ, earning my living DJ like yourself, and it's changed so much that the politics of it and, you know, that side of it, I can't stand anymore. No. You know, it drives me mad. And so I've all but retired from that. But I've still got that love for music, and this allows me to do that. And I picked disco because I thought, you know, I like disco. I like new disco, you know, and it's a bit of a niche for me. It's my own little thing that I've got. I mean, I know other people play disco, but I just play all disco or new disco for a couple of hours. I mean, I do play a bit of soul at the beginning occasionally, or if something takes my fancy, I'll drop it in. Like I played Blackwater this week, you know, the house tune, but again, a mellow version of it, and it works, and it fitted in, and people go, "Oh, I haven't heard this one." And to get that reaction back, it was like the old days when we used to play white labels, and people go, "What's this? What's this?" I can't tell you, mate. You know, you don't get that anymore because everybody's got access to everything now. So that kind of feeling of being not elite, but I've got this, you haven't, feeling that we used to get, you know, because we all used to do it, let's face it, we all used to tune that nobody else had got. I remember playing, when I was at Picasso's, playing Omar, There's Nothing Like This, nearly a year and a half before anybody else, and everyone's going, and I don't know how I got it, I just got it off the record label, and it just did. They never released it for a while, and it was like people coming up to me all the time trying to get, you know, trying to find out what it was, and that was a nice feeling, and but you know, just to play things that probably haven't been played for a while, or you could never play in a club. That's what I get out of it.
Well, we were just saying before we went live, I was encouraging DJs to take as many chances as they can, because you will have to go a long way to find a more discerning music lover than the Vocal Booth Radio family. So, you know, you can pretty much get away with anything, and that has been...
Sorry, it's a connection as well. I mean, I think you remember you played a tune on your early morning show that knocked me sideways. You know, I think it was It Must Be Love. I mean, where else are you going to hear that? You know, and I mean, I was in tears, but I was also happy as well, you know, because it was a song that reminded me of my best friend that passed recently. And that's an instant thing that, you know, I could have waited 10 years and never heard that song. And there it was. I was like, wow, you know.
Beautiful. Well, that's a nice little plug. Come and join us every morning at 6 a.m.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, because unfortunately, my experience in the industry, I find it quite misogynistic, but Vocal Booth isn't. It's totally equal. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. We're just DJs who want to play good music, and we want people to listen to our music. It doesn't matter whether you're new, whether you've been playing 30 odd years. You know, we're just DJs who want to play music, and people appreciate that. And I love that. I absolutely love that.
Beautiful. It's great to hear. It is heartwarming to hear all of these tales. So thank you both for your words.
You're welcome.
Okay, let me go back. Let me roll it back then. I'm going to invite two of the guys. They're side by side on my screen, actually. The Brothers C and to Peds. First of all, I'm going to go to Peds because Ben Pedro, a.k.a. Peds, reminded me that he was one of the first people around back in the early Pressure Radio days. He actually helped get Pressure Radio up and running. So do you want to tell us about that story?
Wow, yeah, cool. Thanks, Andy. So yeah, I used to know Paul from many years ago, DJ P. We used to do we used to do pirate radio in Harrow with the Brothers Glen. And Paul knew Brothers Glen, and I also played on a pirate station in Stevenage called Impact FM. Impact FM, we were starting to stream, and we were talking with Paul. He knew a guy called Jeff who ran a record shop up in Stevenage. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, we used to speak with Paul, and Paul started Pressure Radio. And we kind of started playing. I was kind of transitioning from a UK garage DJ, but on Pressure, I could play a bit of house and stuff, and everyone else was playing UK garage. And And I think we had Mark Cottrell on and a few other DJs. We weren't big. I think Pugwash, you were there. I know Carol used to listen. We had Steve-O and a few other names like that back in the day. So we're talking like early 2000, 2005, maybe.
I think it would have been 2002, 2003-ish.
Yeah, I was trying to look up on Internet Archive. There was an old website, pressure.8k.com, and when we played on Drive FM for Brothers Glen, there used to be events in Harrow, a club called Club Moonlight. I think Paul mentioned it when you did an interview with him many months ago. Can remember the name of the club. It was Club Moonlight, and there was an event there that the Brothers Glen did in Harrow. So and yeah, we used to talk in Club Moonlight and stuff like that. And the event, one of the events was called Pressure events. It wasn't really a thing. We were trying to build a website where it was about like events that were going on and stuff like that, and build a community. But it kind of transformed, and Paul ran with it to build Pressure Radio, and that's how Pressure Radio started. And then I was also, as I moved from playing garage and playing more housey sound, and started working on House FM and stuff like that. I was doing a lot of the stuff that I learned on Pressure and Impact about streaming, we were bringing to House FM. So that's how House FM started streaming online. And, you know, the old days of pirate radio, where you have your studio and the antenna was on, the radio was on another block. We started using streaming, internet streaming, instead of having that radio link. So that was all kind of learned through Pressure and stuff like that, and that came to
It's mad pardon the pun, the impacts that Pressure actually had back then, because nowadays any old fool like me can get an internet radio station up and running, but back then there was a lot more to it, right?
Yeah, we were using so I don't know if you remember Winamp, and Winamp had a Shoutcast plugin, and you would use that plugin to then control your radio station, have your Shoutcast server and all of that kind of stuff. And
well, let's not bog everyone down in all the technical details, because we'll send them all to sleep. But we then, I mean, it was quite funny because I can't remember where we were talking, and you came to Vocal Booth a couple of years ago, and we were chatting. And it's quite funny at the time. I was like, have we met before? And you were like, yeah, we met, you know, we used to go to the parties or wherever. And then I came home and I found a photograph of you and I in Miami, right? In like early 2000s or something. I was like, Jesus, Wardy, you must have sounded like a right twat.
Well, that was, I remember speaking to you one night, late night in Ministry. And then, we must have seen each other in Miami. That's when House FM was doing a lot, and I was playing for Bobby and Steve a bit and stuff like that. So there was a whole kind of London crew that were up and coming, and I think I wrote in my bio, like people like Neil Pearce and stuff were helping a whole load of us out, and early days of Fanatics and all of that. So I left Pressure because we were doing so much on House FM and doing stuff with all sorts of people. We were growing quite big and doing nights at Ministry and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was good times. I left Pressure because I was trying to focus on House FM, and then you joined, and Pressure Radio kind of exploded. But I got a bit disillusioned with it all and stopped DJing.
Yeah, so like many people have already said, went into the wilderness, so to speak, but now back. So tell us about Ped's Groove, what it is that you look to achieve with your show. I'm just frantically looking around trying to see Wednesdays, the fourth Wednesday of the month, and you're live at 6:00. A brilliant show. I mean, all the shows are brilliant. It's unfair of me to single anybody out, but it is really a brilliant show. The depth of the music that you play, and it's very apparent to see from the love that you get from the chat room as well. You happy?
I love it. It's great. So yeah, a lot of years not DJing and focusing on my career. And then, so I was like thinking, you know, when we moved to Spain a few years ago, and it was like, when we finally get a house, I'm gonna have a house with a garage. I'm in my garage now, and build a studio and get back into it. And I was thinking, well, should I get back in contact with Paul and say, is there a slot on Pressure Radio? But then when you started Vocal Booth, I hesitated at first, but then I was like, yeah, I'd love to get back into it. And it's great because I get to sort out the thousands of tracks that I have on my computer that my iTunes library got corrupt. So I get to go through and rediscover old music that I've had and collected over years. When I finally get my decks up and running, I'll get that up and running. So sharing a bit of old music, but also, being a house DJ back then and that bubble, part of why I got disillusioned. We were all starting to play a bit of the same stuff. I kind of forgot what I liked. And now what I like about my show is, and after DJing, I've discovered so much other music that I hadn't realized was out there when I was DJing. So now I play anything from like some African folk music from the 70s to Afrobeat, the whole kind of South African side and stuff like that I kind of missed for years is amazing. I love all of that. So I try and bring a bit of my Nigerian influence and maybe make out play djembe a little bit, and all the crew that I was used to play djembe with, they're doing the opening festival, opening the Glastonbury Festival and stuff. So I'll try and bring a bit of influence of all of that, and then kind of bring it into like the deeper house sound that I really love now. And
you do it very well, and I urge anyone to check it out on the podcast if they haven't got around to it. So thank you for sharing that with us. I'm going to race on because it's amazing how quick the time does go. So from the early days of Pressure Radio, you said that Pugwash was on. Pugwash wasn't on Pressure that early, I guarantee it. It was myself, and then Charles, I think, wasn't that far behind me. So Brother C, I mean, I made no secret about the fact the only reason I really contemplated starting Vocal Booth Radio was to give your fucking listeners somewhere to come and listen on a Saturday morning, because it was like the show that people had to go. And what are we going to do? We've got no rising sessions. And so, the station was, don't get too big headed now, just built around yourself. We were just going to be a Saturday and a Sunday output with a few mixes here and there thrown in. And here we are, 6 months down the line with over 90 DJs with one of the strongest outputs. So thank you, Charles, for the inspiration. How does that make you feel?
Well, that's never been my way. Thank you. I can't honestly take credit for that, because the way that things were at Pressure, it was a collective. I know it was a collective. And one of the things that I'm so pleased about and so stoked about is the fact that, here we are in June, we started in January, and that same collective vibe, that same collective feel is right here live and direct at Vocal Booth Radio. I will take credit for my part in it, but I won't take any credit in terms of, oh yeah, I'm the man or anything like that. That's not my way. That's never been that's not how I roll.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Humble to the last. I love that. So I think it would be pointless telling people what you hope to achieve with your show and what it's about, So how deep into it are we now? We got to be 17, 18 years for yourself.
August will be the 18th year.
Yeah. So
not that I'm keeping count or anything.
I think I'm 21 years, possibly myself.
22.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
It's mad. It's insane.
I know it really, even now, it still messes with my head.
It is. It's crazy. And a family, I'll start getting all emotional when you think about not only for Vocal Booth Weekender, but all of the trials and tribulations that we've all been through together. Losses, births, deaths, marriages, breakups, revitalize relationships, and all of that above. It's pretty crazy. So thank you, Charles. I just wanted to say publicly, thank you.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome.
And I'm happy that we've got Carol with us in the chat to hear all of this, because Carol was an integral part of all of that as well. Ben had already given her a shout, as did Dalmar, but I know she does like a little bit of a pat on the back. So Carol, that one's for you.
Yeah, can I just add to that as well? Because if there is anything that I'm going to say about Pressure Radio, Vocal Booth Radio, etc., etc. There are three people that I have to give props to wherever I can. First and foremost, my other half, Claire, who most people who know me will know about Claire, aka Sister C, because if it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't have had the confidence to do it. But also to Carol and to Paul for giving me the platform in the first place. I have to give props to them. And even, further down the road when Pressure Radio is kind of just a distant memory, I will always maintain that gratitude and the thanks to all three of them just for giving me the chance, but also for having some faith in me in the first place. So thank you, Carol. Thank you, Mama. Love ya.
I love that. That's beautiful. Well, from that, like I say, we still got plenty of time to talk to more people. I think it will be perfect for me to come to Chris Flint, one of the newest DJs, to join the family. And this will go some way to continue with the layers of how the inspiration rolls down. So Chris, welcome along. It's a pleasure to see you. Tell us about the influence that the Brother C and Pressure Radio has had on yourself, and how you can't believe that now you're part of the fabric of what we're doing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. New mic, by the way. Learning new every day. Where do I start? I was out and about for many years as a service technician, moving all around Europe, doing a lot of driving in like a delivery van type white van man with a mobile workshop. So I had a lot of chance to listen to the radio, and it was Pressure back in the day, and yourself, Bugsy, and in particular Brother C. I just had him on repeat in the van all the time. I was just listening to all his shows. I was just listening there where he said you're coming into the 18th year. I can remember you getting so excited when you reached the 50th show. And it was like, hey, we're at show 50. And I was like, wow, and I've been with him ever since. It's something that's always been there. I had the opportunity while I was working to have the radio on. So I was listening to the shows, I was listening to the live broadcasts. I was downloading them, playing on repeat and all that kind of stuff. So from the Pressure side, it's always been a part of my life for the longest time. And then jumping forward now, we can get into how I got involved in a minute, but to be part of this collective is just, it's blowing my mind. It's absolutely, I'm just so taken aback by the experience. And yourself and so many other people, Scott. I don't know where to start with it, really. So maybe if you just ask me a question and see where we go with it.
Okay, well, we were losing you a little bit there, but I pretty much got everything that you had said. I can't even remember what actually had happened. You sent an email newsletter out, and you always ask how are you guys doing, and for once I actually reacted. Okay. That was on my own AJW, the E-Colours newsletter, right? Asking for how things going on. Yeah, carry on.
No, I took the chance and reacted, and if I'm honest, in the back of my mind, I was kind of hoping for the reaction that I got. And I mentioned one of the things that you ask is how's things going, what's new in your life, and I mentioned that I just started uploading to Mixcloud, and you replied with, "I didn't realise you were a DJ," and I'm like, I'm not a DJ. That's not me. And you said, well, send me the music and see what happens. And the next thing, bam, it's on the radio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great mix. Music, proper music, timeless music, and no messing about. You've studied your E-Colours, and we were joking backwards and forwards about your tendencies. And I was saying, well, look, I'm going to give you the chance. I'm not going to let you hang around and let's get this sorted. Skip forward a couple of months, and now you have your regular show. So tell us the name of the show, and tell us why you were a little apprehensive to tell me the name of the show. Right?
Yeah, Velvet Booth, Velvet Bass. Sorry, I'm mixing up my German and English. Velvet Bass. I've been messing with ChatGPT, funny enough, trying to work out graphics and what to call it and all the rest of it. And one of the things that was thrown up by ChatGPT with Velvet Bass, and I thought, yeah, that kind of does it. And it was only after I'd set up the Mixcloud page and we started conversing about the opportunity, I went, oh, that might be a little bit close. I wasn't sure if that was a little bit too close to vocal booth. But it kind of, I think somebody said on the first show, Velvet Bass kind of fits the feels that I'm trying to get in there. It was mentioned that there was a good flow in the first show. And that's very much what I'm aiming for, is that if I can keep your attention during the music, the tune that you're listening to at that time, if I've got you engaged, so you're not missing the last tune and you're not waiting for the next one to come in, I've pretty much done what I'm after, if you see what I mean. And that's me listening to you guys already. You do it, copying it basically, and just finding out for myself what works and what doesn't. There's a sidebar on that. This is, by the way, this is a massive trigger for Green Blue. Anybody out there? When you give me the green light to go, I spent the first week basically trying to be something that I'm not, and trying to mix in a way that I'm not used to, and basically trying to run before I could walk. And it took me a week to realise, no, just do what you know. And now it's a lot more comfortable. I'm learning every day. I'm finding new ways of putting things together that just feel right for me. And hopefully that comes across in the music.
It definitely does really, really well. And I saw Angela putting her hands up there. It's Angela and I have great conversations, and the same with yourself, knowing how to get the best from you, to coax you, to make you feel comfortable enough to do that. And you've nailed it. So the Velvet Bass show is monthly, the fourth Tuesday of the month at 12 noon. So it's a pre-recorded show. And one just gone. It was great. People will definitely enjoy downloading that. Thanks for sharing those words, Chris, and thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Okay, how are we doing? We are 30 minutes away from the top of the show. Anybody else? Actually, Paul Griff, because I know you've got to get away and put Madam to bed. And I might not get around to talking to everybody tonight, but if anyone definitely wants to talk next, please put their hand up. Mr. Griffith, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for being here. So Paul Griff, as part of the Body People, I really wanted Griff to join us on a weekend for a live show, but he couldn't commit to it. I couldn't even get him to work on a rotation. But we are happy to have them on a Monday, the first Monday of the month at 8 p.m. So yourself, Jamie Love, Richie Barthez, anybody that isn't aware, Paul Griff and I go back a long time. I used to DJ for him for his Uber parties. Griff was the person who did all of the artworks for us for the very first Vocal Booth weekend back in 2009. He came up with the concept, he came up with the look, the fonts. I already had the logo from a radio show I'd done before, but everything else was all down to the vision of Paul Griff. Then we started doing the reunions together in Birmingham, the messy reunions. So I've got a lot of love for Griff. We go back a long way. I'm sure you know how much I love and appreciate you, Paul, right? Even though I've given you so much grief down the years.
Yeah, we've had a few back and forth, haven't we?
Yeah, that was before I knew my e-colours, and before I knew yours as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the music.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
It's been a long time. You have a wide musical, a wide love of all things music, a wide musical spectrum is what I was trying to say, and the show reflects that. Leaning more towards the deeper house side at the moment, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it's kind of, when we started 2004, it was like pretty much Soulful House through and through, and then it kind of evolved into like more deep stuff. And then I think as we've got older and less inclined to stay out DJing until 5 a.m, the daytime party has sort of come through. So we've kind of got a bit more eclectic. So we get a chance to play across the board, really, of different sounds, and even play things that potentially only we want to hear.
there's a few of us like that, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's all about, isn't it? You know, sometimes you play to yourself, sometimes you play to others. But yeah, I think I've got a bit of a button on the direction we're going in, and I'm going to call it Dadcore.
Okay, love it.
Because we're getting a bit old, aren't we now? We're all dads, and that's part of the reason why we couldn't. It was difficult to do the live, even though, yeah, that's probably the goal, isn't it? Really, to get to a position where you can commit to a live where the kids are a bit older, you know, all that. You're not doing bedtimes, or like Richie works late, Jamie does shifts. It's hard enough getting us to do a recorded show, so. We're hanging in there, though.
It is. Well, it's a great show. How are you feeling? How are you finding doing the show? Are you getting the feedback that you enjoy? Are you feeling it's evolving? Yeah. It's a labour of love sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, the last one seemed to have more reaction, or let's say a reaction that we heard about. So you don't know, do you? Once it's out there in the world, you don't know who's really listening, who's enjoying it, except for numbers on a piece of paper sometimes. But yeah, enjoying it. We're all scared of the microphone. Jamie's a natural on the mic. He literally should have been doing radio many years ago, probably. He's prepared, he's smooth. Me and Richie are just finding our feet. We've got to a point where we don't care what we sound like when we're listening back, I think that's probably the biggest hurdle, isn't it, when you're speaking on the radio.
Mm-hmm. You don't cringe when you listen to yourself.
No, well, I mean, what are you going to do?
Not sucking the mic as well helps.
Yeah. Well, we're all learning, aren't we? And that's quite nice that we're all here learning from the pros. So yeah.
When they turn up, let me know. Okay, so the Body People every Monday, the first Monday of the month at 8 p.m. and we're looking forward to having you seeing you at the gathering before you have to shoot off somewhere else. So thank you for that. If anyone, like I say, in relation to the conversation we were all having earlier, if anybody wants to talk to Paul Griff about suggestions and recommendations, he's the guy to talk to about your visibility online. So I just put a lot of work your way and a lot of effort on you.
Yeah, appreciate it. And don't forget the merch.
Okay, Body People t-shirts available now, looking very, very tasty indeed. Okay, so next up I can see on my screen, let me go to Rolf, because DJ Raw has a weekly show on a Monday evening at 10 p.m. And I had asked if you would like to change that for the House of Rhythm, because I know sometimes it is a bit of an ungodly hour. I mean, listen to us, 10 o'clock being an ungodly hour, but it's fair to say that, you know, people do drop off, especially after being listening for much of the day. How are you finding it, Rolf, DJ Raw? You're enjoying it, right?
I'm loving it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. I actually do I purposely schedule your show as well midweek whenever there are slots, because I love listening to it. Your music, I've said to you before, your music is right in line.
Thank you very much.
With my, my taste. It takes me back to those Soul Heaven days and the Garage City days. The same as the music that DJ Ladybird plays as well. You know, proper on point. So, what do you hope to achieve with your show?
To get as many people listening. I mean, I just love playing music. I mean, I don't know if you know, but I'm also in the sound business. Kind of got into this business initially when I was 19, getting involved doing all the early illegal raves. And then obviously when that all finished, went into working in nightclubs. And my way into DJing was 1 year, me and a friend of mine were supposed to be going to Ibiza. And two of the guys that we worked with, or the director of the company, and another guy went the week before. My mate booked the flights. Back in those days, when you got confirmation, it was by letter. And my dear friend didn't bother to read the letter. We got to the airport. They told us our flights had left the week before. So I took all my spending money and went and started buying records. So that was my way of getting into music. And
amazing. Then obviously and I did see you mention, it was in the chat room, about your connections with Carnival and doing a lot of sound systems there as well.
Yeah, well, I supply a sound system. I mean, it's the 2 days of the year where I can actually set up a big sound system and no one tells me to turn it down. So I really enjoyed it. I do the sound for Mastermind. I have done for about 25 years now. So I really love that. It's a nice sort of, the music isn't, there's no house really played there. It's more sort of R&B's, reggae, that kind of thing, a bit of garage. I mean, I really enjoy it. I really love that. I mean, the reason I got into setting up sound systems initially was because, going out and setting up a sound system and watching 25,000 people raving to it and knowing that I helped to contribute towards that makes me feel good. The same when I play music and people enjoy it, it makes my soul feel good. I love that. Wonderful. That's why I play.
Well, you are on air before Soto takes over stateside, and I wake up early in the morning to just a world of madness going on in the chat room. So you have a lot of fun, right? I mean, I know Anne's chuckling because she's in there late at night as well, as is Danny, as is Ralph. Who else is in there? I mean, Randy's passing through sometimes, and we've got to give a shout out to Bernie, to Mona Girl.
Yeah. I have some of my family coming for, because I've got family, because obviously I'm half West Indian, half Irish, so some of my West Indian family live in Canada. So I get quite a few of those coming in, which is really nice. My sister pops in every now and again, and it's building. I do enjoy it.
Excellent.
I mean, I love it.
Wonderful. And that's every week. So that is definitely something that people who grab the podcast would benefit from gravitating towards. So DJ Raw, House of Rhythm, go and check it out.
Can I just big up? I mean, the talent on the station is amazing. I mean, I listen to a lot of the shows. I listen to shows. I mean, I don't always come in the chat because I listen when I drive into work and stuff. So, I'm very privileged and feel proud to be a part of it all because, there is some seriously amazing talent. I've worked with a lot of the big DJs over the years. I've promoted David Morales' launch of his album, The Program, back in the day because I used to work in the Royal Club. I did quite a lot of work with DJ Harvey when he's in the UK because I used to do all his parties before he left to go to LA. So, still involved. But thank you very much for the opportunity. Big love to you, Andy.
Well, thank you for saying so. It's always nice to have the appreciation, and it is a pleasure. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolute pleasure.
Owen, let me come to you, sitting there patiently. Thank you. Someone who I met and really only spoken to since we began here, again, getting pulled from pillar to post with your radio show. So tell us about your show, what it is that you hope to achieve. And you're in the chat room a lot as well, listening to a lot of the DJs.
Yeah, what I'm hoping to achieve, to spread the love of what I love on the airwaves or internet. It's not airwaves anymore, is it? Or is it?
Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, just like the others, I've always had a passion for music, and I haven't really got a lot of radio experience as such. Did a few stints on some pirate stations. Not going to mention any names, but yep, bringing a small batch of tunes, enough that you can pick up and dash off with in case you get a knock on the door. But yeah, those days, I think I was playing a lot with Mickey C, and he's the one who really suggested that I go on the radio. I'm more of a sound system guy, I have my equipment, go out, the whole package, and do like a party which would encompass all sorts of music: reggae, lovers rock, soul, drum and bass. So I'd play across the board on the night, and was never really a specialist as such. Coming on here, I think initially I started playing what I wanted to play and what I liked, and then I kind of found myself almost sort of bending towards what I was hearing other DJs play on the station at house, if I'm going to be honest, which is good. And it's even better if you're a good mixer, which I'm not the best. I kind of, mix in the odd one or two. But I found that like someone else has said, I think I do a better job if I play naturally and play what I would want to play, and not try and conform.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, that's what we want. We want you to, bare your soul to us, because that's what we want to hear.
Yes, yeah, and speak a bit more, because I kind of play or try to play the way I like to listen to certain DJs play, and they create an atmosphere throughout their session.
Mm-hmm.
Some DJs, when they play their sets, it's like a very good playlist. You can just put it on and play it time and time again, and they take you on a journey, and you feel good and you feel inspired. And I must say, I hear that a lot on Vocal Booth. Sometimes I'm shocked. I might just hop on and say, who's on now? And then I say, oh, shit, man, this person's really good. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, but it's almost every show. Every show,
Well,
so,
we're thank you for saying that. We're looking forward to seeing you at the Gathering in Birmingham. You're going to be doing a back-to-back set. So I'm just trying to get rid of this cramp in my leg. You're going to be doing a back-to-back set with Mickey C on the night time. So that's going to be cool. And your show, Just for the Groove, is the 4th Tuesday of every month.
Yep. Just for the Groove.
12 noon or 2? 2 o'clock.
2 till 4. And it's got that name, which I thought would give me an opportunity to play everything. Because it's just for the groove. So
well, there you go.
Well, you
as I said before we went live, you take them chances and you'll see it come back tenfold, most definitely. Okay, so we've got 15 minutes left. I think I'm probably going to be able to get around to everyone if I keep this short. John, have you been able to unmute yourself yet or not? If I click ask to unmute, that should bring something up on your screen. Mark Goddard. Oh, no, he's there. So, Mr. Goddard, I'll come to you in a second. So, John Kumar, did I talk to you last time or not? I don't think I did I?
No, you didn't talk to me last time.
No.
I don't know why you've been avoiding me, mate.
How are you feeling after a big weekend? Tender?
Yeah. Really, 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 really good. It's nice to be able to put on parties and walk away, one, with money still in your pocket, but more than that, I think it's more important that people have actually enjoyed it, really enjoyed it. And as long as they keep enjoying it, we'll keep doing them.
Amazing. Well, the thing is, maybe you should get into this promoting lark. Have you ever thought about that? Again, it's probably going to be ridiculous for me to state this, but Mr. John Kumar, without a doubt, one of the legendary promoters in the UK, responsible for the bump and hustle parties. I remember travelling down to Bournemouth with Mr. Patrick Smooth way before I had any hope of being, a guest DJ anywhere. Like Patrick's Box Boy, just watching him just smash the place apart. Revered parties around the world, bump and hustle. And John, if I say so myself, it was a stroke of genius for me to put him on a Sunday morning, but you've absolutely taken it by storm, right? Tell us what Sunday mornings mean to you.
What for me, it was first and foremost getting some. I like structure, and I like to know that if I'm going out on a Saturday, I can't be out all night. No, I don't want to be out all night. I don't want to be going crazy. I don't go out that often anyway. But I wanted something that was going to make me enjoy waking up on a Sunday morning, and I took it on weekly. I don't know what the hell I was thinking about when you offered it to me. And it's just a chance for me to play music. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm probably the oldest person in the group. I don't care if I am. But at 65 years of age, I've had a lot of years of music. I started DJing when I was 15. My first proper job was working for HMV Records in Oxford Street. So the musical spectrum that I grew up with is so huge that it's one of those opportunities for me to be able to play things that I wouldn't get to play at a club. I know that I would love to have played to people who go clubbing, but the wrong time, wrong place. So it's just a chance for me to express myself musically across the board. And yeah, I currently, having evolved and changed over the years, I get bookings mainly for house music, which is fine. I love playing house, and I love house music. But wanted to do something a little bit different. And it's that early in the morning. I don't want to bang anything out. I want to keep it nice and mellow and ease people into the day. And the idea is just for me to be able to offer something that wakes people up gently, but with interest, and occasionally with questions and curiosity, but with interest and with love. That's all it comes down to.
Amazing. And the immediate feedback that you get, it must be rewarding for you, right?
Yeah. It makes it so worthwhile. It makes it worth getting up every single Sunday morning for. I'm up at like 5 o'clock and I'm ready to go by 7. But it's just that whole it's purpose. This Vocal Booth gives you a purpose. This station gives you a purpose. The whole friendship that everyone has, and the community, and you almost know who's there and who's not. And when someone's not there, you're almost like, where are you? So there's a real family thing there. And it's inspiring.
Beautiful. I love that. Well, you know me, I'm all about inspiring and being inspired. So thank you for saying that. It is a pleasure to have you with us, mate. You know how I feel about you and your contribution, and it's just great that we continue. Andy Johnson has just said, so I can see Steve Williams, Mark Matthews and Andy Johnson. I didn't realise they were with us, not on camera. He says, John, you've got a big fan right here. I always look forward to hearing your show on a Sunday morning. A lot of people say the same thing. Mr. Goddard, greetings. Mark and I met in Birmingham a few years ago. He came up to me while I was playing at Hockley Social Club. I think, was that the first time we actually met, Mark?
Yeah, it's the only time we've met.
Okay.
Yeah.
He came up and was chatting to me, and then we went away, and then we were talking about something else, got involved with the 100-day no alcohol challenge. And Mark's show's also the Filthy Milk show. As soon as I heard Mark's show, I was like, can you do a weekly show for me? He's like, no, the time is just not right at the moment. So tell us about Filthy Milk, Mark, and what it is you look to achieve.
I look to achieve, just play the music, the same as everybody else, just play the music that I'm still learning, records from the past, records I've heard last week, finding new music. What's the objective really? Just to share the music, same as everybody else. Just share the music, enjoy doing a live show, enjoy people being in the chat room. I'm just happy to do it. I'm not really setting myself an objective, to be honest. It sounds a bit, I don't know, it just sounds a bit plain, but I'm just happy to do it. And John just said,
because you have a few of the shows elsewhere as well, so you are fully committed to your music and sharing that music. We are going to have some news about Mark's shows that we won't share just yet, but that is in the pipeline. So we'll put a pin in that and remember that I've said that. So Mark, I want to just not rush round, but I want to see who else I can speak to. Thank you for jumping on the camera. Damo I spoke to last month. Steve Williams I spoke to last month at length. Mark Matthews I spoke to at length. Andy Johnson, you're not on camera. I'm not sure if you can talk. If you can talk, let me know in the chat. And you don't need to be on camera. I'll come to you in a second, Andy. Julian, DJ K. If we can just get a couple of minutes from yourself, and then I'm going to go to Andy Johnson. Yes, we found you how did you find Vocal Booth Weekender?
I got to Vocal Booth Weekender by the brother of Connie.
Okay, yes, of course, I remember.
Yeah, he went in 2016, I think, and so he said, we went at a wonderful festival, you have to come, you have to see this. And so we went the next year, and since then we almost came every year. It was
every year, indeed,
wonderful experience. And the first time we actually met the Soulful House, because in Holland, Soulful House is not. It's been played, but not as much as in the UK.
But because you like more Jack in House, you like UK garage, you like stuff with a little bit more edge. So you played at Vocal Booth Weekender, and then when I asked for the DJs. You put your hat in the ring, so to speak. So now I think you were a little bit after the first batch of shows got up and running. The Sweet House Dreams is I'm trying to see it here. Remind me, Sweet House Dreams.
Third Thursday. Very difficult to say for me.
The third Thursday of the month at 4 o'clock. Yes. And you enjoy that, right? You come to chat, you get in the chat as often as you can, and you love the feedback that you get as well.
Yeah, through the day at work, I log in, and when I can, I listen. And playing my show is absolutely wonderful. I love it. Mm-hmm. It gives me also the opportunity to vary a bit with the difficult styles of house. And last time I did more disco and funky house.
Mm-hmm.
It was surprisingly nice.
Good. Scott is saying he really enjoyed hearing you play some UKG a few months back. Okay, so
another show. I will do another show.
Beautiful. Andy Johnson, he's going to jump on. Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. How are we?
Very good indeed. So Andy, again, is someone that I'm only recently getting to know through the station. And at the beginning, there was... it was trying to find what was the right slot and giving everyone an opportunity. You're not exactly a new DJ, are you? You've been playing music for a while, so you know what you're doing, and that comes across. That comes across the way you present and the vibes that you share. You would love to do a live show if you could, but unfortunately, that's not possible, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think especially the time in my show as well, just doesn't quite work around work and stuff like that. But definitely something I'd like to do in the future. So, if we can kind of get that scheduling working, I'd love to give it a go. I just kind of get such a vibe from listening to the other live shows. Nothing like, to avoid repetition, but just the banter and the camaraderie you get in the chat room from those live shows as well. It really, really works. So, kudos to the guys and girls that are doing that.
Excellent. So tell us about the Funky Vibes mixtape.
It was kind of born out of the whole COVID period, to be quite honest with you, Andy. So, I've kind of been DJing since I was 16. Started off doing discos, doing weddings, birthday parties and all of that. And that was all thanks to the inspiration. My dad bought me some equipment and just kind of got me out there. I wanted to be a sort of house DJ, but he was like, you've got to learn your trade. You've got to know how to read a room. You've got to know how to play a wide variety of music. So, long story short, eventually become a bit of a house DJ, just playing gigs around the Midlands. And then give it up when got married, had my daughter, just become a family man and just thought no. And then lockdown happened, treated myself to a controller, started doing some more electronic sort of DJ mixes, if you like, putting out there, and got a really good response from it, Andy. Just to get that feedback from people that were enjoying listening to what I was playing and just the stuff that I was passionate about, just gave me such a buzz. And then, to get the opportunity then to come on a radio station, it just takes it to that next level again. So I'm constantly challenging myself, testing myself. I know you've encouraged me to speak a bit more, get a decent microphone, and I've done that. I've listened. I listened to so many shows. I don't always get in the chat room. It's difficult with work, but I'm always listening on the outside, whether it's through a smart speaker or my dog walks, and it's inspiring. So it just gives me that motivation to keep bettering myself and just keep doing what I love, really.
I love that. Thank you, mate. Thank you. And I shall be in touch about a possible evening show for you where you might be able to go live. Cool. Okay, so Thomas, Mr. White in Iceland.
Hello.
Good evening. We've got 4 minutes, okay? So, Damo is shooting off. Thank you, buddy. Take care, my friend. We say farewell to Cardiff. Yes, Tommy White in Iceland. You are enjoying your show. One of the replays of your show was on earlier today, actually, on Questionable Music. You love what you do, right?
I definitely do. I just love playing music. Really, that's why I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. It's not really about, fame or money or anything like that. Just to know people enjoy what I'm doing is everything to me, you know.
And off the back of the connections that you've made through Pressure Radio, Vocal Booth as well, doing some of the events over in Iceland. Are you still doing the one at Christmas? Is that still going ahead?
Yeah, that's going ahead at the moment. Yes, definitely.
Because I know it's challenging times for everybody right now. So I wanted to give that a little bit of a plug. Okay, so listen, I am aware that time is getting the better of us, so I just wanted to bring you on and say hello to you and let people know. So just remind people when your show is. The Positive Vibrations Reykjavik is the once a month.
Every fourth Tuesday of the month from 8 o'clock after country beat until 10 p.m. UK time.
Excellent.
So playing basically, house music across the borders, from
quality music.
Could be
Okay.
classics, could be test pressings, still getting test pressings,
I heard you say earlier vinyl, digital and vinyl. So look, I have got 60 seconds. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say thank you to everybody here still on the Zoom. Respect to each and every one of you. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know coming back here and checking this out. I will see you all in Birmingham in a few weeks. I'll be sending out a recording of this tomorrow. And then my final words to all of the non-DJs inside the chat room who are with us and helping all of these men and women be the superstars that they are. And I think the final words have to be for Black Wax folding his pants on screen. So, yeah, I don't know what I can say really. Matching socks and pants.
That's house.
Yeah, that's house. What more can you say? That's what house is about. Right, 30 seconds.
There's always an odd one. There's always an odd one. Every time.
And that's yours. So Randy, thank you for being here. We spoke at length last week. Scott, we spoke at length. Emily, Angela as well. Thank you all for sitting around. Nick also. I've got 10 seconds. All I will say is to everyone, thank you all for being here. Don't forget, check out the podcast portal because we've got some great music. See ya.